What's up, guys? I hope the audio in this video turns out well. I'm sick with some kind of SARS type virus, I think. You'll see me sipping on some Sunny D throughout the video. Actually, hold on 1 second. Hey, baby! Can you come help me real quick? Am I in frame?
Yeah, you're in the frame.
All the way? My head? Like my head's in, like,
Yeah.
You can see it? Okay.
Yeah, you get a little bit above your head now.
Does it need to go up?
No, you're good now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to make this video about the backlash that we're seeing to the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Now, I'm not here to pick sides, and you shouldn't. Don't pick sides. There's nobody's side to be on. There's nobody's side to be on. I want to talk about two aspects of this entire thing, right? The first is a little deeper than, well, one of them's a little deeper than the other, but they're both very true. Okay, so first of all, regardless of where you stand politically, right, you have to at least sympathize with the fact that that guy was a father, a husband, a son, you know what I mean, a friend, regardless of how you feel about it. And you know, with being a public figure in today's day and age, you know, comes this huge scrutiny over everything that's said and done. So whether or not you agree with somebody is besides the point. When they get clipped like that, you know, at a university, you know, without a chance to defend themselves, first and foremost, that's always bad. It's never okay to do that, ever. And we look at like the attempted assassination of Trump. Like, I didn't vote for him, but do I want to watch a dude get his head shot off on national television? Not in America, not in this country. Because it's happened before, right? Kind of. You know, not to the scale. Like the whole world didn't see Martin Luther King, or, you know, the whole world wasn't watching when Kennedy was taken out. So, and if you go back to when when they killed him, the country mourned as one. You didn't see people being like publicly a lot, you know, hey man, nice shot. It is a weird time, man, that we're seeing political assassinations, because regardless, it was a political assassination. You know, if the guy's a political activist, it's political assassination. And that's a dangerous precedent to start setting in a country. I don't agree with the stuff that Charlie Kirk was saying. You know, like as a whole, I never agreed with anything from him or from anything that was ever spawned out of Turning Point. Was it Turning Point? But regardless of whether or not you agree with him, you shouldn't call for more, right? No matter how bad you think it might upset the system and turn the tables and make change. And here's why it doesn't, is because, in the second point, you turn the target into a martyr. So what this bozo does, right, is goes and shoots a guy in front of, hundreds of university students who, by the way, didn't sign up to watch a dude get his head shot off while they're paying for classes. Are you kidding me? Every student at that university should have their tuition. I mean, it's not the university's fault. I mean, to a degree, it kind of is. If there's no security around for this nonsense, because when people say things to get a rise out of somebody, a lot like Charlie Kirk did, you have to calculate that at some point somebody is going to get tired of hearing it, right? That's probably why you don't see like Steven Crowder hanging out on like college campuses anymore, you know? Like, or Ben Shapiro hanging out on college campuses out in the middle of the open. Like, because they probably know, and they've probably had like security teams tell them, hey, listen, man, people are not happy. But it turns the person that you're killing into a martyr. And so now, for whatever good you thought you brought from offing this guy, right? This father, this husband, this son, this human being who was, whatever, a guy with different opinions, a guy with an opinion, several opinions that I don't agree with, and some of you don't. A lot of people don't. So you go and you off this guy, right? Now everything he stood for is empowered, right? Like, it doesn't stop the cause. There's no head of the snake to cut off. There never was. And there never will be a head of a snake to cut off. I had read that he, wrote like, hey, fascist, catch. Most Americans don't even know what fascism is. We like to say that we do. We like to say that we're like living it. We're not living in fascist Italy, during World War II. It might feel like it sometimes, but it's not. But what happens when you do this? So you off this guy. You're now the rest of your life, and this guy's probably gonna get the craziest non-civil right trial. Like, Trump is gonna, I swear to God, he's gonna probably try to have this guy die dead by firing squad, and swiftly. You think he's not gonna jump all over swift justice from crime against a conservative in Utah? Oh, you turn people into a martyr when you shoot them for what they believe in. That's why everywhere you go, people who are very deep rooted in the ideals of Lincoln and the Kennedy brothers, they have pictures of them on the wall. Next time you're in your grandparents' house, Look around. Might be a picture of Lincoln or Kennedy somewhere around. It's such a different time that we're living in because all of us got to see that, right? People had to wait a long time before they saw footage of JFK. You know, the Zapruder film, it wasn't like it popped up. There wasn't a Twitter so that everybody could share the uncensored video 6 feet away of a guy getting shot in the neck for just being alive, you know. Listen, I have my own ideas and ideals and beliefs, and I'm not like crazy public about them. I've worked in politics before, you know. I I fundraised money for people, and I heard people threaten Congress people, and I had to report it to people, right? So like the world of people threatening political uh uh man, this illness is wrapped around my brainstem. So this doesn't accomplish anything to what he did. It doesn't, and it doesn't embolden um any kind of anti-fascist like movement. It doesn't. It harms it, and it would put it out in the open. So because that's, you know, that's what the media is spinning this up to be, right? Welcome back, Antifa. uh it's a weird time that we're living in because it's all right, it's all right out there in front of us, right? The access to be able, I mean, I, for God's sakes, I could like link the video to this. That's the world that we live in. So it's visceral, and it's not a good tone to set for us as Americans. It's not a good, we're not in a good place, and we're not in a good place for a lot of reasons. And but this doesn't help, and violence across the board doesn't help. And I think the reason that I wanted to even say anything about this, because this really isn't up my alley to comment on this kind of stuff, right? And I certainly don't have a platform to do it. I'm speaking to probably nobody right now. But the point is, you can do so much more with your words and your creative skills, right? That same guy could have made a really cool video or something, you know, a poster, and gotten maybe the same feeling out of it than he probably got in that moment's release. That kind of violence doesn't get us anywhere as a people. And the older I get, the more that I am concerned about the survival of us as a people. We all seem to hate one another. But listen, if you haven't told your wife or husband that you love them today, do it, because they might get shot for, you know, having a different opinion. And that's America.